I can't tell you 100% yet, but I have felt for a little while now that I've been in the reunion stage and in that deeper state of surrender and just like complete trust in everything 100% coming together instead of, partially coming together. Because that is the difference between reunion and union, okay? The reunion phase is not union yet. It is when neither one of you is running from the connection, but you are still working through healing. And, you, depending on the twin pair, you might be together during that. You might kind of be in I guess you could say in a situationship where like you're together but not together, depending on what the circumstances are, because there can still be complicated situations while logistics and stuff are worked out. But anyway, point being is that the reunion phase is that nobody's running anymore. You're in communication, but there's still healing that's being worked through and still sorting out situations and whatnot. And then union is actually when you're completely together, but it's not just being completely together, because there are some people who think that they're in union because they're together, but they're not in union yet. The second aspect that makes it union is that you have reached a certain level of healing and spiritual awakening, both of having that complete understanding of what this is, and like there's no chance of a separation again. There's no chance of running again. You're both like completely all in, and you're committed for the long run. That doesn't have to mean married either, okay? That just means committed to each other and committed to your paths and your purpose. You might even still be figuring out fully what your purpose is in the spiritual thinking and the divine mission and that type of thing. You might still be figuring that out. You don't have to know all of those answers. But the point is about where you're at in the healing process and in the awakening process, in the spiritual rebirth process. Think of it in terms of the butterfly, caterpillar to butterfly, okay? You're not in the goo phase anymore. You're not in the cocoon anymore. You're both completely, out of the cocoon, wings unfolded, ready to fly off and be these new versions of yourselves and be together, okay? So hopefully that kind of makes sense. But anyway, so what I think, what I have been thinking when I think about what union will be and is, depending on where you're at, is that because you reach that healed state where you don't need the other person for survival anymore. I kind of think of it as two people who are living their lives and choosing to live them together, choosing to coexist together. That can be raising a family together also. But what I'm more thinking of is like you're each following your life purpose paths. You're each, independent on your own right. You don't have to blend everything because you're both existing independently, successfully, happily, healed, but choosing to walk the path together, choosing to coexist together. So it allows for each of you to branch off at times for your own independent selves as needed, and that's going to depend how much is going to depend on each person, because different people have different needs. Introverts need more alone time than extroverts need. So yeah, you can still like branch off at times, but you always come back together, and you have that time together that is just, it's amazing because you're twin flames. And so I know I was saying in the other video how the love, when you don't feel that need, codependent need, the codependent need is super like all consuming. The love doesn't, when you're healed, doesn't feel like that. But it doesn't feel like that when you're in the surrendered state, but not in union yet. When you have like your alone moments and you're just like contemplating life or whatever, you just feel like, oh, I love my twin so much, I can't wait to be with them, but you don't feel like, oh my God, I need this person or I'm gonna die. But I think that when you're in union, it will feel like you will have the time that you spend together. You will have that all-consuming passion and fire and intensity in the relationship, and in the moments that you have, one-on-one, not just the going about life stuff. But like I said, you will just be choosing to go through life together. It's like, well, I already said it. That's the way I see it. That it's, you're each good independently, and you're choosing to go about life and coexist together, and you have those amazing moments together, and you will also have, times where you branch off from each other and do your own thing at times. You can still be living together and having a life together and still do that, right? And then just also following your paths and your purpose and creating abundance for each other. Something else that Spirit has told me along the way at different times, and I was thinking about this and reflecting on this the other night, asking Spirit some questions about me and my twin and our paths. I really think, I always used to think when I was in the more pained state that we don't go through this for no reason. That's one of the reasons why I always 100% believed that union is guaranteed, because you don't go through all this journey and how difficult it is and how painful it is for no reason. But also, once you get through it, once you get to the other side and you come into union, it's just going to be like, Spirit can't even tell you how amazing it's going to be. Spirit can't even tell you how amazing of a life you're going to have. And it's not just about the union with your twin either. Like Spirit is going to reward us for doing the work, through getting through this spiritual rebirth process, through getting through this healing process with this other person who we can't even believe how much we love. Like I said in the other reading in the other video, it's a love that you can't even fully define. So for doing the work, for getting through all of that, for being a warrior, for defeating spiritual warfare, like we can't even imagine, how great it's going to be and how much blessing Spirit is going to bring into our lives. And actually part of what I will tap into this, even though I don't usually talk about this stuff, because I've had a lot of ascension talks with Spirit that I don't talk about publicly because I think a lot of people aren't ready for it. But, I have talked to Spirit about how the aging process will change as ascension progresses and as everybody's bodies becomes more crystalline. It's not going to happen that quickly. It's going to take time. It's going to take decades. But Jesus has told me about how, aging will slow down and lifespans will be extended and whatnot. And I was asking Spirit some questions about that the other night, based on a Zoom teleconference thing that I watched, webinar, I should say. And basically what I ended up getting down to with him was that because of how the lifespans will extend, we don't even realize, like, everybody gets focused on time. Like, I'm running out of time. I want to be with my twin flame, but I'm already, whatever age and all this stuff. And a lot of people worry about having kids, especially if they haven't had any yet. You don't even realize, like, all of this, things are going to change. Lifespans are going to be extended. Our bodies are going to slow down in aging as they upgrade to being crystalline. Like, we're going to have more time than what we realize with our twin, and have all this abundance and blessings coming in. And, so much is going to open up for us that we don't even know. So, like, don't stress. Just, like, you have so much to look forward to, and there's no reason to stress, because you are going to have the time and you are going to be happy, and everything is going to come together exactly how it's meant to. And if you're meant to have children, you're going to have children. It doesn't matter how old you are. So don't worry. It's going to be good.